I want y'all to get a very good glimpse of this idiot's face right here, and it's very fitting that I chose this picture to use for this commentary. If you don't know who this man is, this man's name is Hugh Hewitt, and his name should be Hugh Idiot. I was scrolling through my Instagram stories yesterday, and I came across this screenshot from somebody I followed, and I could not believe what was tweeted out, not from, well, maybe not from him, but from another source, of a statement that he made in response to the shooting that happened at Santa Fe High School in Texas. This man came out and said that in order to stop shootings such as this, like the one that just happened, we need to put a ban on trench coats. You're probably sitting there saying, did I hear that correctly? And my response to that would be, yes, you did. Because the shooter was wearing a trench coat. Now that raised red flags for me because it's Texas. And I know this week in Texas is probably in the 90s somewhere. And it's extremely hot. So you're walking around with a long black trench coat on in the heat in Texas, in the middle or probably in southern part of Texas. That raises red flags for all of us. But this guy said that he wants to, if you want to slow down on the shootings, put a ban on trench coats. This is about as stupid and idiotic as when Kellyanne Conway said, if you want to slow down the opioid plague, just give them French fries and ice cream. These are the people that are allowed to speak for the American public or have these positions. Now I'm going to go ahead and read this article because it's coming from Splinter News, and it says Hugh Hewitt offers up another dumb idea to stop school shootings. So I'm almost curious to what the other idea was. I don't know if it could be any bad or more worse than this, but we're about to find out. In the latest installment of conservatives' proposed solutions that would do absolutely jack shit to stop school shootings, Washington Post and MSNBC contributor and radio host Hugh Hewitt said on Monday that schools should ban kids from wearing trench coats in order to stop school shootings. They are not saying this killer, who we should not name, used shotgun and pistol, not any kind of high caliber repeating weapon, not a semi-automatic weapon, just didn't do it. It's, and in many ways, the spanner thrown into their rhetoric of people who believe in universal background checks, who wouldn't have any impact on this. On magazines, wouldn't have any impact on this. At close range, we discover shotguns are lethal. To the teachers and administrators and out there, the trench coat is kind of a giveaway. You might just say no more trench coats. The creepy people make a list, check it twice. Hewitt's comments follow this tweet from over the weekend by Bill Mitchell, a fellow Trump supporter and a guy who looks pretty much exactly like Hewitt. Bill Mitchell said, just a hint, if a student is 1, a loner, 2, quiet, 3, is bullied, 4, loves violent video games, and 5, wears a trench coat to school, you can pretty much profile them as a potential mass shooter. And this Bill Mitchell guy is another colonizer. While Santa Fe shooting suspect Dimitrios Pagortzis was reportedly known to wear a trench coat, this idea, what a school shooter looks like, can be traced to the rumors that came out of the immediate aftermath of the 1999 massacre at Columbine High School. Many of those rumors turned out to be not to be true, as Westword reported in 2012. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, the Columbine shooters, didn't dress goth. The so-called trenchcoat mafia was a red herring from day one. There's nothing in the official records that suggests anyone regarded Eric Harris as the smartest boy in school other than Eric Harris. As for other myths about the two killers being outcast, persecuted, more gay bashed than gay bashing, they were all exploded years ago here and here and here, among other places. Although bullying certainly existed at Columbine, just like at other schools, and Harris and Klebold may have been targets long before they became tolerated, albeit not wildly popular seniors and quasi-bullies themselves, it's alarmingly simplistic to make the kind of cause-effect argument Client presents for what happened at Columbine. An actual real-world indicator that someone is going to commit a mass shooting isn't whether they are wearing a trench coat or suffer from way too generic mental illness, but whether or not they have a history of domestic violence. On Sunday, the Los Angeles Times reported that one of Pagortz's victims was a girl who repeatedly denied his advances. Stoneman Douglas shooter Nicholas Cruz also reported was abusive towards an ex-girlfriend and threatened to kill her new boyfriend and his mother, filed police reports alleging that he assaulted her. And in a March shooting in Maryland, 16-year-old Jalen Willie was murdered by her ex-boyfriend at school. But when conservative politicians and pundits push every stupid idea that ever fleetingly occupied a space in their minds as the way to end school shootings, from banning trench coats to creating a fire safety nightmare to arming teachers to learning CPR to teaching kids to just run at a guy with a killing machine, is an attempt to try to stop people from coming to the conclusion that we should put more restrictions on the tools which enable someone to injure and kill dozens of people in a matter of minutes. These suggestions aren't offered sincerely, and they shouldn't be treated as such. The truth is that conservatives and the media and government know what the problem is. They just decided they prefer unrestricted access to guns over the lives of innocent people, including children. Saying that out loud, however, gives away the game. Now, while I do agree that this guy is an idiot, with what he said, basically the article, they wanted to say gun control at the end. And I'm going to just be real here. Gun control is not going to happen. Not in this establishment. It's just not going to happen. A gun cannot pick its own self up and commit a mass shooting or a murder. A person can pick up a gun and commit murder or a mass shooting like the one that just happened in Texas and the many countless others that have happened this year. I just recently did a video talking about how there's been at least one mass school shooting, or at least, well, if it wasn't a mass shooting, it was a school shooting per week since January 20th. We are now on May 22nd. We are almost halfway into the year 2018. And like I said, I predict there's going to be another one right before the school year ends. And then I forgot to take into account summer school is going to happen too. So, it's probably going to, some things may happen there as well. So there's literally been like a school shooting every month, every week, or one has been reported since January 20th. But this guy is a goddamn fool if he thinks banning trench coats is going to stop school shooters, because there have been school shooters to go into schools and not wear a trench coat. So what you going to ban? How you going to address that, Hugh, idiot? Like one of my followers said, they said what they're going to ban next, pockets. I have my HQL and I'm licensed and I can own a gun. And even if I did, I wouldn't go and do I wouldn't do any of the shit that they did. I would only use it at the range because I feel that's the only place that it needs to be used, unless specified otherwise, as far as having to protect myself, if, God forbid, an invader. Other than that, I don't need to use it. But this guy's a fool. He's an idiot. And these are the people that are allowed to speak for us. Well, he doesn't speak for me. I just put it out there. He may speak for them other people, but whatever. He can tell he's probably really a big fan of the NRA. See, they don't want to address the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is not guns. It's young white males. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next one.